Hello, everybody. Welcome to a live stream from Beat the Odds. Gonna do a little sound check here.
Hello, everybody.
Oh,
Welcome
there we
to
go. We've got sound. This is fantastic. Okay, so I'm gonna jump in on an ESPN baseball draft here for you guys, just to kind of show you sort of how it works, what I do when I go into drafts and such. I haven't done a whole lot of ESPN drafts. I normally stay with Yahoo drafts, but ESPN was first to the scene here this year, so I decided to jump in. I've actually already done 5, so we're gonna do a 6th one here today. You see the 5 ones down here. We're gonna jump in on a 6th. I'd like to see if I can do a points league because I got a lot of H to H drafts already in the books, but we'll try out a points league if we can. The reason why we're doing one here today is it's actually really easy to get in on one. So if you go to the ESPN page, of course, you need to sign up if you haven't already done so. Get an account and then jump into fantasy baseball, and you'll see spots here where you can join a public league. So I'm going to go ahead and join a public league here. There we go. Join a public league. I'm going to go pro, of course. And then we're going to try, we'll try season points as a snake draft. Leave the settings as draft now. And let's see if we can get in on a team. So looks like we've got 2 slots available. So hopefully this fills here. There's a minute before the draft starts. Actually, no, that might give me enough time to change my team name to odds, because that's the channel. Hope you guys are excited for fantasy baseball. I'm a huge baseball fan. We are going to have content all season long. So if you like this kind of stuff here, be sure to like the live stream, and then of course subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet done that. Because everybody that signs up here just helps us out to be able to, or helps me out to be able to put out this type of content. So the way that these leagues kind of work, or these drafts work, is they give you, I think it's a 5-minute window to fill up um, a league, and the leagues are 10-team leagues. And if we can get it filled before the timer runs out, then we go ahead and we draft. If we can't, then we have to wait for it to reload. So it looks like we're not going to be able to get in on this first one. We'll see if we can get in at the next time at 6:45. It's kind of a bit of a shame. Just means we have to wait for a little bit. This gives me a little bit of time to let you guys know that I am currently prepping top 10 lists for every single position. I've got pretty much all the infield taken care of. I'm going to be putting up a list here for outfielders. I'll put up a list for starting pitchers. Those are going to be larger lists. It's actually going to be 30 names on that list. And then I'll have another one up for relief pitchers as well. So make sure to take a look at those lists if you're doing your own fantasy baseball drafts. It's really good information for you to kind of get an idea of who, at least my choices are for the top picks in each of those batting categories, or positions, I should say. Now, of course, we are still thick in the fantasy basketball landscape there as well. So I'm currently doing a couple of episodes a week for that. I actually just put one up here about possible incoming trades. So if you haven't seen that one yet today, I encourage you to take a look at that video there as well. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of action for people coming into this league. So I'm going to actually leave the league here, and we are going to try out a different league. I rarely have issues with joining head-to-head leagues. They seem to fill up the quickest. Let's see if we can get into, oh boy, this one only has 4 teams. So maybe not that one. Let's leave that league and go into a head-to-head, because I don't really want to wait around here for for a league. I mean, it's awesome that they have these so you can get in pretty quick. But I mean, for the sake of a live stream, let's just get into one. So we're gonna do head to head. We'll do head to head points. Sure, why not? So let's join league for head to head. And there we go. So as mentioned here, now I have I'm in on a league here, head to head points league. Usually these things fill here pretty quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and change my again to beat the odds. Abbreviation. One thing that I like about Yahoo is I can actually go in and change the team logo to show um, like my logo. I can't really do that. I have to basically choose packs here. Look, they've got Avengers Endgames. See what else we got. Oh, Ralph. Love Ralph. So they got a couple of cool things. Maybe I'll take a peruse through some of see if I see some stars and hmm. If anybody knows how to actually import their own logo, that'd be a great thing to leave a comment on. I've always wondered this. I'm not too familiar with the ins and outs of ESPN. If that's something that you guys are aware of, I would love to know how you do that. We're just going to go ahead and choose. What do I like here the most? Yeah, we'll choose popcorn. Or actually, you know what? We'll choose that. We'll choose that logo. That kind of looks all right. Okay, so we got 30 seconds left here for the draft. Now, I guess it might help let you know kind of how what I do with regards to my drafts. I've got a bit of a strategy. Normally, there is going to be. We'll kind of show you when we get into the draft here. There's going to be a few different phases that I like to kind of take when I'm in a draft here. The starting phase is usually between the first 5 rounds or so, 5, 7 rounds. That's the early draft. And normally, what I do is I will try to pick the best player available. All right, so the draft room is now open. We're going to go ahead and enter that. If you're watching this here today, feel free to leave a comment. Let me know where you're at and if you're in on this kind of stuff here. I'd love to know how well your drafts have gone so far, all that kind of stuff. We're here to chat some baseball. Okay, here we go. So looking at the line here, it looks like we are going to be pick number 5, which is not terrible. It's not exactly the best spot. I want to try and get in on the first 3 picks if I can, but pick number 5 is not too bad. So I will on now this is a points league. I still kind of want to maximize on hitters because hitters are very difficult to replace numbers. So I'm going to try and get the best hitters that I can in the first few rounds, and then I'll start to look at bolstering my starting pitching after that. So this is what it looks like. We're going to start drafting in about a minute and a half. What I like to do here as well is I like to actually queue up some players here. So I'm going to go down the list for each category. And you guys may have seen some of the ones that I like here already. In this list here for catchers, I really like Yainer Diaz. He's going to be someone I'm going to try and get in on. I'd love to have Rushman, but he's going to go early. And if I can't get Rushman, if I grab Yainer Diaz, he's going to take the lion's share of starts at catcher in Houston, and he can also DH, and I believe he can play a little first base there as well. He was covering for for Jordan Alvarez there to like last season when he was hurt. So there's definitely some value in that pick. Jonah Heim is a good one here. Again, later on down the list here, Mitch Garver just signed a deal with Seattle. He's going to be their DH. That's not a bad one. But again, on 10-team leagues, you may not have to go that deep to get a good catcher because there's more than 10 catchers on the board already. Um, let's go to first base. I'll kind of just call out some of the guys that I like here. Tristan Casas, I like. Spencer Torkelson, I like. Um, second base here, Matt McLean. Zach Geloff, he's an interesting pick, but I don't know if he's going to be sitting a lot of drafts here. We're already started. First pick is off the board. It's likely, I didn't even see who it was, but I'm pretty certain that it's going to be actually. Oh, here we go. So Spencer Strider was first. Wow. Acuna was second. That's a gift. We're going to go Juan Soto for pick number 5. I think he's going to have an absolutely monster season this season here, playing in that short porch there in for right field at Yankee Stadium. Hopefully, he's going to get a whole lot of at bats there with Aaron Judge. Let's jump back into some of the guys that I am targeting here. I don't mind Glaber. I'll put him up there as well. Same kind of idea. Now that that lineup is bolstered in New York, it's not a bad idea to try and grab some of those players. Gunnar Henderson, I like. Royce Lewis, I like, but he's a little risky of a pick. Ellie De La Cruz, I'm kind of fading him. I don't believe the hype on him. I mean, he's a phenomenal talent. Raw skills, he's one of the best in the game, but I've got a bad feeling he's gonna flame out this year. We'll see if I'm wrong. I'd rather get it on in on a Josh Young over an Ellie De La Cruz. Shortstop, love me some Bobby Witt Jr. Oh, here we go. So it's my turn there again here. Let's just go into all positions, see who we got. Raffy Darrow. Oh, Corbin Carroll's out there. One thing I like to do here as well is I'm going to tap on that ADP. That's average draft position, just to see exactly where these players are going, and kind of going back to what I like to do within the first few rounds of the draft is I like to pick up the best players that are available. And right now, that's Corbin Carroll is certainly at the top of that list here. But I'm actually kind of struggling. I don't know if I want to get Carroll now or if I want to get maybe Bobby Witt, because I'm gonna have like I can get a Julio Rodriguez too coming down the turn. I think I'm gonna get Bobby Witt actually. I might have made a wrong decision there, but that's the wonders of fantasy baseball. Uh, you're not going to win or lose uh, in the start of a at the start of the year during your draft. You just need to make sure that you stay active and you're checking the waiver wires and you're following the box scores to see who's doing what and what positions people are batting in the lineup, all that kind of stuff. So that way you know kind of where you need to target certain players. Um, all right. Let's see what else I can show you guys here. So second baseman, I think we went over. Third baseman, yeah, we went over that here. Let's go to shortstops. Well, I already picked up the guy that I wanted here in Bobby Witt. CJ Abrams is not a bad one here. O'Neal Cruz is kind of the cheaper version of Ellie De La Cruz. He's got great potential, but I'd pick at pick 200. I could see picking him up here, but I don't know if I would actually grab him in the early rounds. Looks like my turn is coming up here again. And look, there's Corbin Carroll. He's still sitting out there. So if that falls to me, I think that's who I'm going to pick. Thinking. He's thinking. I have a lot of fun doing these every year. I've been doing these since 1998. Might age me a little bit here. I got a few grays in my hair. Oh, of course. It took all that time just to pick up the guy that I wanted. All right. I should probably look to see if there's any pitchers I want to grab here. And looking at the list, no, curious to see where they've got Yamamoto. I don't really see them. Sure, why not? Let's get Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Goes a little against the grain. I'm not huge on picking up players that haven't pitched in the majors this early, but he seems like the real deal. Now, what's nice about the setup here, I've only actually ever done this on my phone, so this is my first look at doing it on a computer. It's very clean setup. Gives me a position tracker down at the bottom here. I've got my picks kind of along the right. I've got my roster along the left, and then it shows me my queue in the top left there, and of course over across the top shows the picks. Let's talk. Let's finish our talk on some shortstops. I think I got everybody that I wanted to talk about there. Bo Bichette actually is somebody that I'm going to be targeting here as well. I think he's due for a bounce back season. He hit 300 last year. Of course, the team just couldn't score runs, so he was getting on base, and nobody was hitting behind him. But if we're to believe that Vlad Jr. is going to have a resurgent season as well, that's going to greatly affect Bo Bichette because he normally hits in front of him. We're headed into my fourth pick. I like Bryce. He's sitting out there. I would be good, honestly, with either Bryce or Zach Gallen. I think either one of those are heady picks this late into the or at this point in the draft. Taking all this time. Pick Zach Gallen. Okay. I also like Austin Riley. And there's not a whole lot of third basemen out there that I trust. But we still have Gunnar down here too. Maybe I'm gonna leave third base for now, and we're gonna pick up. I think we're not. There's a bit of a drop off. Well, Pete Alonso. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of quality first baseman left, so we're gonna go ahead and secure one in Bryce Harper. Again, there's an injury concern here with Bryce, but I think first base is going to be a little easier for him to handle. Less chance of him getting injured. Okay, let's go to some outfielders here. See who's sitting out on the wire here. I guess yet to be picked. So these guys, Luis Robert, Adolis Garcia. I mean, they're going to be. Well, I mean, Robert strikes out a lot. So does Adolis. Um, they're going to be great pickups if you can get them later on in the draft because they've got the ability to do pretty much everything. Let's see. There's a few guys that I like down here too. Nolan Jones is a big one that I'm going for. He's a cheap option that can get you a solid 2020. Another one that strikes out quite a bit here, so hopefully he tones that down this year. But of course, he hits in Colorado, so how would you not want a Colorado outfielder? Josh Lowe is another one that I like. Jackson Churio. For those who don't know, he is probably the biggest name to be making his debut this season. Certainly somebody that I am going to be picking up shares here early in the year and secure them so that way I can benefit from all those juicy stats he's going to be able to give. There's another on this list that I forgot. Similar, kind of along the same line here. Jackson Holiday. He's someone that you're going to want to queue up here as well and see if you can sneak him in on the bottom end of your drafts. I got two left here before we choose. And it looks like I might have my third baseman coming up here. Gunnar Henderson is queued up. See if I can hear him. This league is also big on making sure that you get positional flexibility. So having a guy that can play multiple positions, that is going to be huge during the season, especially if one of your guys goes down. You can basically plug a Swiss Army knife into whatever position you need. So I'm a huge fan of guys like Gunnar Henderson that can play multiple positions. Hopefully he falls to me. I'll see. And this rounding third headed home guy is chewing up time. So let's hope he picks up Blake Snell. Leads Gunnar Henderson for me. Oh, no, he picked up Kodai Senga. Either way, we're going to go ahead and grab Gunnar. Let's jump back into some starting pitchers here. So, guys on the list that I like, Tariq Skubal. He's actually going a little higher than I would like, but I think he is the real deal. He's got some absolute gas coming from the left side here. So he's somebody that I'm going to be looking at picking up whenever I can. Grayson Rodriguez, another one who started off really slow. He had a really rough go over his first few starts, and he was sent down last year. But once he got back up, he's a completely different pitcher, and it's certainly worth being on rosters. So I think he's going to show some improvement in year two. I'm going to be gunning for him there as well. Merrill Kelly's a good one to go late. Cole Reagans is nice. Oh, there goes Skubal. Eduardo Rodriguez is a good one. Yuri Perez. Oh, there goes Bo Bichette. That's okay. I've already got a third baseman and a short. Braxton Garrett. I like him. Michael King is actually a great one to target. Walker Bueller should be back this soon here. Oh, actually, this is new news. Might delay his debut, so that's going to likely get him to draft a little bit in drafts, which it's not a bad idea to pick up a guy like Walker Bueller and just stick him on your IL, so that way whenever he's ready to go, you can plug him into your lineups. It's like a free pick. All right, let's see who's out. I'm getting close to going to my next phase here. I'm still in the pick the best players available phase. Just go Lindor still. I don't really want to pick up a second short. I mean, that'd be three shortstops. I pick Christian one. Okay, so for me, second base is kind of a spot that I need. Michael Harris is actually still out there as well. Kyle Schwarber, man, I always get scared picking up a guy like Schwarber. He is a one trick pony and he does that trick extremely well. But I'm more of a all around type player here, so I want to pick up guys that will be able to help out in every category. I think we're gonna go up Freddie Peralta here, pick up a second pitcher, just to give a little bit of um, support for my starting staff. Yamamoto again. I mean, he was lights out in the in the Japan League there, but hasn't played overseas. So having somebody who, is a solid pitcher to be able to kind of back him up is always a good idea. I will be putting this on replay here. We'll have it posted on the channel so you guys can watch it, see how we did. Love to get your guys' comments on this. Let me know if you think I've missed something. Oh, there goes Michael Harris. He's the other one that I was targeting, so no surprise that he got picked right after. Um, yeah, if this is up your alley, we're actually going to be doing I'm going to be doing a longer live stream through Yahoo. Um, I've got it's 4 drafts lined up. It's going to be like a 5-6 hour event before the season, or right at the start of fantasy baseball season here, which is next week actually. I'll be putting up a post for that on the channel so you guys can catch that. All right. Take a look at some relief pitchers here as well. Alexis Diaz, Edwin Diaz is out there. I think he might be one of my next picks here. Joan Duran, I like Jordan Romano. Plays for my Toronto Blue Jay. Well, not mine, but he might follow. So he's going to be one that I'm going to be looking at here. Ryan Helsley is actually a nice cheap pick. Oh, here we go. It is time to make a selection. Tempted to go William Contreras here because he is going to be batting in a prime spot in that Milwaukee. Go Cody Bellinger to pick up out. Pardon, outfielder. Again, little torn with what I want to do. Yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and pick up Contreras. I didn't really see a player that I really wanted here, so we'll start to fill a position. That's kind of where we're going now. Is we're gonna take a look at trying to fill holes. So I've got second baseman that I'm gonna need. Relief pitcher that I need. Well, I don't think they actually. Yeah, it doesn't really. You don't really need a relief pitcher, I think, because this is just points league. So relievers don't carry the same amount of value because everything is just based on score. But it's always good to have relievers on your team because that way you can get basically points on any given day as opposed to having to wait every 5 days for your starting pitchers to be able to cash in on. All right, let's go back to some relievers here just to see if there's anybody else that I've missed. Evan Phillips, pretty sure he's still closing in Dodgerland. I might be wrong on that. Tanner Scott's a good one also to look at. There's Pete Fairbanks, he's good too. I thought Chapman actually signed with the Pirates. That should be good for Beavers. Okay, so it's back over to me here, and it looks like Cody Bellinger is actually still out there, so he might be the guy that I get. He's likely going to re-sign with the Cubs, and if he doesn't sign with the Cubs, he's going to sign somewhere else and play some big time, uh, games and stuff, soaking up a lot of games at the position. And he comes with dual eligibility, so I think we're going to go ahead and pick up Cody Bellinger here for the squad. He's going to slot in as another outfielder. He's also going to back up Bryce Harper, which is not a bad thing to have because, um, well, not that Harper's injury prone, but he has had his run in with some injuries. I think the guy that I'm going to target next is Edwin Diaz. Either him or a quality starting pitcher, but I think it's Diaz is where I'm going to be. Gleyber Torres is still out there as well. It's not a bad guy to pick up. Ah-Shun Kim is actually not a bad one there either, given that he plays multiple positions. He's going to be a popular target here in a lot of drafts. Oh, Matt McLean is out there too. So there's a few options I still have for second baseman that I'm kind of gearing up on. We got 11 more picks to go. So yeah, we're kind of smack dab at the middle portion of the draft. When we get towards pick 16 or so, or maybe not pick 16, more like pick 14, then it's the back end of draft, and I'm really just looking to kind of shore up uh, these positions here to make sure that I've got enough flexibility that I can plug guys in. I've got enough pitchers, just to tie things up here in a nice little. That's also when I try to get like steals or I'll take a risk on some of the younger players. So Jackson Churio or Jackson Holiday, those guys I like to key up on at around that point in the draft. Monumental Class A still. Sonny Gray is an interesting one. He's going to be playing in St. Louis, and that's usually a good place to play for a pitcher. I don't know how much I actually believe in Sonny Gray at this stage of his career, but not a bad one to consider. Oh, there goes Alexis Diaz. I think I'm gonna go ahead and grab Edwin Diaz here, just so that way I can say that I have a reliever. There goes Torres. Oh, there goes Robert. Two guys that I would have liked to have on my team. I can't get anymore, but that's okay. Now I forgot I do have an open util position here as well, so I can look to fill that with pretty much any position that I want. So guys that I'm looking at, like a Royce Lewis or an Adolis Garcia, that's still available. I already have a third baseman, but it's not a bad idea to pick up somebody like that and just stick him in that util spot. Oh, there goes Garcia. Okay, crazy. JT Realmuto is still. I think we're gonna go. Ellie's out there. Do I really want to take the risk on Ellie Deluxe? I don't think I do. Kelly or Lewis from. I think I want to go Kelly because at this point in the draft, getting quality starting pitchers is more difficult. I'll get batters at the end, but you typically won't find pitchers. I'm running a little light, so I should probably focus on getting a solid pitcher. So I hope you guys are enjoying this fantasy baseball draft here with me. If you're watching it and you got to this point here, congrats to you. You're a boss. Make sure to smash that like button there and subscribe to the channel. If you're a big fan of baseball, you're going to love the summer. We're going to hang out all summer long doing fantasy baseball coverage. If you're big into basketball, we're doing that currently right now. So make sure to go out and check out all the posts and videos and all that kind of stuff all over fantasy basketball. I'm going to take a look at some more starting pitchers just to see if I can key up some of these guys here. Bybee is somebody that I would look at rostering here as well. Carlos Rodon, he can't possibly be as bad as he was last year, so I am going to queue him up. I think he might be a sneaky good pick here later on in the draft. There's Shota Imanaga there as well. Oh gosh, I didn't mean to do that. Oops. Thought I was still on queue, and I just ended up picking up a guy that I could have gotten at the very end of my draft. So that was a very bad thing for me. See if that yeah, there's Royce Lewis. That was the one that I wanted to get, was Royce Lewis. Darn it. Oh well. All right, so I think the next guy we're going to be picking up here is going to be Matt McLean, just so we can shore up that second base spot. Hopefully, Imanaga actually turns out to be good because spending a middle round pick on a guy that might have fallen all the way through the draft without being picked up, bit of a sting, but we shall see. We'll see how that one turns. Okay, so Matt McLean is getting drafted. He's going to fill that second base spot. Now I got 3 shortstops on the team. Ellie De La Cruz is still sitting out there. My turn comes back around. I may just pick him up just for the upside. I mean, who knows? He might end up shedding his strikeout ways and just providing. Oh, never mind. There we go. So I officially need an outfielder, and that completes the lineup. And then I can just basically play around um with the bench how I will. So with fantasy baseball, you don't need to have a lot of bench put aside for your batters because most most hitters will play almost every day. So there's very little switching you're going to be doing or needing you're going to be needing to do um, in a lineup. Where you need to have good depth is your pitching for sure. It's always good to make sure that your bench has a good amount of arms on there that you plug in. Now, I'm pretty sure I don't know for certain, and you guys can probably comment here just to verify, but I'm quite certain that there is going to be a limits to how many innings you can get out of your starters or out of your pitchers, and how many games you can get out of your position players. Um, Before we get to that, let me just see about picking up somebody here. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot left out there. A lot of the guys that I wanted to pick up got off the board here. Evan Carter's an interesting one. I might go for him. Fill out another outfield spot there. That's what we're gonna do. Young Hoo Lee is in his prime. Had I think he was the MVP as well in his league. So he's a guy that not a bad one to take a look at. There's Nolan Jones still sitting out there. He's one that I can target in my util spot here too. Lane Thomas actually had a really solid season last season, so he's not a bad one to take a look at. Um, Jazz Chisholm, when he gets back, will be a force. He strikes out a lot, but he hits homers in bunches and he can steal bases, so he's not a bad one to hop onto a team here either. Going to some pitchers just to see who got left. I got a bunch of the ones queued up here that we're going to be looking at. Nate Eovaldi's also not a bad one. So I don't know if he's going to be repeating what he did in Texas last year. Bryce Miller. Oh, there goes Lee. Bryce Miller. Andrew Abbott had a phenomenal start to his season, and then he really fell off a cliff there towards here. A lot of your Tristan McKenzie's actually not a bad one to take a look at. Jake DeGrom. I think they're saying that he's late in the summer. So if he actually gets to play, it's not going to be probably August. That's 2 months. I mean, it's not. It's tricky because you only get so many um, injured list spots. Casas is out. No, we're gonna go with Casas. Oh, that's actually gives me Bryson Stott's out. We're gonna go Bybee. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go Bybee. Get another young arm in there. That gives us 5 starting pitchers. That's pretty solid at this point. We're now getting into the back end of the draft. It looks like there is 5 more spots to fill. And I'm gonna use those spots. I'll pick up two hitters and 3 pitchers. Probably a reliever, or maybe even 2. Um, and then yeah, 2 hitters. So far, I'm liking where we're going with this. It seems as if the team is going to be pretty flexible. I do want to see if we can get one of the hitters to be an infielder, preferably a second or third baseman. We're going to take a look to see what I've got queued up for that. Jackson Holiday is still out there for second, so he might be somebody I'll pick up at the end. Josh Young is out there for third. So both those players I would happily have on my team. Tristan Casas is very tempting though. If he doesn't get picked up when it comes to my turn, I may just make that call. Nick Pivetta is also kind of. I might actually. Oof. This Bob's team 5 is taking his. Gets tougher on these rounds here, so can't really hit on him. Although he picked up a really good guy, Yainer Diaz, round 14. That's good on you. There goes O'Neal Cruz right after. So it looks like as I look at the. Oh, there goes Jonah Heim. Looks like people are starting to file out of this draft. There is 4 teams that have gone auto pick. That should just make this process go a little faster here, and also will likely allow me to pick up the players that I want to finish off the draft. Oh, Nolan Jones. So I want to get an outfielder for sure, and then an infielder. I think that's what we're going to do here for the batters that remain, and then 3 pitchers. So as I look, Max Muncy's. Oh, that's not a bad one to take a look at, especially with how souped up that lineup is going to be. Okay, how do we want to do this? I think Jones is going to be the guy we're going to pick up for now. Get Muncy up on the queue. Still kind of reeling over that Imanaga pick. Hopefully, he outperforms what his projected stats are. So we're kind of closing out The draft, I got 4 more selections to go. There goes Casas. I think I've got Yuri Perez or Nick Pivetta. One of those two are going to be picked up next here for me. Leaning towards Perez. And I think that's the way we're going to go. We're going to get Yuri Perez here. And that gives us 6 starters. I think next we're going to go for Max Muncy, if he's still there. Oh, Muncy just got picked up. Michael King's still out there. There are some solid pickups at the end of this draft. Grab Tanner Scott. Got 2 more picks to go. We should be finished here pretty quick. At the end, I'll do a little recap here for you guys, kind of how we did strategy wise. I'll take a look at my team, see what I predict, how things are going to go. I haven't done a ton of points leagues. I always find them I'm more of a head-to-head matchup kind of guy. So usually when I pick, I got that in mind. So sometimes it's tricky to switch gears because you can't pick. A little different picking head-to-head than it is picking a roto or a points league. Strikeouts, for one, come into play for hitters in points leagues. You don't want to necessarily get a guy that's just like classic example. If somebody would have picked Ellie De La Cruz in round 3 or 4, that would have done, you know, that would have set them up for failure because that team is gonna lose a lot of points based on the strikeouts that, De La Cruz get. There goes Rodon. I wonder why everybody's so scared of Pavetta. Walker Bueller is there too. And you know what? I think well, that's tricky. I think I might do in the Jazz Chisholm. There's a lot of really good players still left. I'm gonna have a bit of a tough time trying to choose how I want to do. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick up Walker Bueller. The reason why is I can again stash him on my IL and I can go immediately to the waiver wire and pick up one of these other players that are going to be kicking around. Like if Nick Pivetta is still out there or Michael King is still out there, I can end up getting both their services potentially. Oh, there goes Michael King. Darn it. Somebody's listening. Okay, so we're going to do Walker Bueller. Then that gives me one more selection. That selection is going to be a fielder. I wanted to get a third baseman. So Josh Young. Josh Lowe is out there. There goes Pavetta. And of course, we also have Jackson Churio out there. Hmm. Is he as good as people think he is? Hmm. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the last pick. I'm not too concerned if we make a mistake here. I think I'm going to stick to my guns and pick up Josh Young. Um, I'm a big fan of younger players, a little more upside. And he was deep in the running for Rookie of the Year before he got hurt towards the end of the season. And of course, Gunnar Henderson ran away with the trophy. All right, here we go. So my turn. Let's get Young on the squad, and that is going to complete the team here. Let's just see if there's a way for me. Well, we'll stick around to the end of the draft to see if they actually have a post draft thing that I can show you guys, and then we'll call it um we'll call it for the live stream. I want to thank you guys again. If you watched this live, I appreciate it. If you're watching it, if you're watching the replay of it there, appreciate you too. Be sure to leave a comment. If you haven't seen one of these drafted yet, it's good to be able to get into some of these so that way you can get the hang of it. My draft is complete. Beat the odds, go to my team. I think this just takes me right out of drafting screen. Yeah, and just goes right into my team. So you can take a look, see exactly how this lines up here for me. This is actually a really great counter along the side. It takes a look at your average points, and this basically means everything. So you want to make sure that you have guys playing that maximize your average points, so that way you get more points towards the end of the season. Um, look here, last year. So we'll kind of see how this plays out, but it looks as if I've got a pretty solid lineup here. Maybe a little light at second base, so we may look at to get some reinforcements there. But for the most part, I think we did quite well. And then going over to the pitcher's side, we're actually going to IL manage IL. Here we go. So we're going to put Walker Bueller on the IL. I don't think we can actually pick up a player right away. I believe we have to wait a day in order for the players to become available, which is likely what I'm going to end up doing. Let's take a look at players just to yeah, till Thursday. So we have to wait a couple of days before these will be available. And at that point, I'll likely pick up a few more guys to this squad. But that's going to do it here for this episode. I hope you guys, or this live stream, I should say. I hope you guys enjoyed this here. If you did, please leave a like on the stream. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. I am going to sign off for now, but I'm going to catch you guys on the next live stream. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of your evening.